Hey everyone, this is Wobbly Wallaby. Today I'll be providing my recommendations on the top PvP classes in Ragnarok M Classic. In this video, I'll be sharing my analysis of the Season 1 6v6 tournament to see what the pros use, what roles they perform, and also what skill rotations they use, so you can reproduce it just like I'm trying out here. But first, a big thanks to LDCloud for sponsoring this video. I've been using them a ton for managing multiple accounts since I need them for recording interactions for my videos. Here I have my party with my priest who's helping out my mechanic. This is a pure cloud-based Android system, and this footage is from my Android phone. It's smooth and I love the unlimited multi-instances so I can control more than one character. I can also easily swap by pressing the orange button, then choose my other class to access that character. It's also running online 24/7, so if I need to run something AFK, I can keep it on. It's particularly good for farming since it can follow properly. I can also access this from a web browser as well, so there is cross-platform support. If you decide to check them out, then use the link in the video's description. Thanks to the official Ragnarok M Classic Facebook page for hosting the ROMC Season 1 6v6 tournament live on April 19th. I will be showing some footage throughout this video for my analysis. I'll put a link in the description if you want to watch the whole 3-hour stream. Now, the top two teams were Sovereigns and Feet Split. For those two teams, the common classes were Warlock, Archbishop, Shadow Chaser, and Sorcerer. These were used in every single match. Now, Sovereigns had Genetic and Guillotine Cross, while Feet Split had Royal Guard and Rune Knight. Royal Guard was used in some matches in addition to Genetic. Now, the great thing about Classic is the wide variety of viable classes even in the top level of play. In Ragnarok Mobile Eternal Love, the last tournament I analyzed, both top teams were playing the exact same 6 classes. So let's begin with the common classes first. First is Warlock. Warlock's role in all these matches is to destroy the enemy. In all the matches I watched, Warlocks were often the top for the kills. In particular, the Master Skill Spiritual Combo is a very unfair skill, and it can take down enemies quickly. For example, here someone tries to get the orb and gets obliterated. Now, for more damage, White Imprison is used since it can also proc Spiritual Combo, and this is very unfair in my opinion. And then I also see Tetra Vortex being used too for a nuke. Now, Recognize Spell is spammed a lot too to get the magic penetration percentage and gaining elemental orbs. I also see Frost Misty being used, and I think most likely this is to change the targets to water since Ghost does 25% damage to neutral and 75% damage to poison if the aggro B card is being used. It is nice to be able to convert because it prevents people from countering you, especially if they decide to go neutral. And last, for survivability, White Barrier is used since only Ghost can hit the Warlock for 5 seconds. Overall, Warlock is a fantastic DPS class that hits super hard. The Master Skill is really a carry here, and I think is fantastic for PvP. Next is Archbishop. Your role is to provide support through team buffs and enemy debuffs. Oftentimes, you are tanky enough that you will also hold orbs for your team. Archbishops have a ton of useful skills, but some that I saw being used a lot manually are Epicalesis, a great way to revive, provide more health, damage reduction, and SP and HP recovery. You'll often see these trees being planted everywhere. Next is Blessing for the huge stats boost. The passive also gives a very critical 30% more move speed for you and your party. Next is Kyrie Illison for providing a shield against physical damage. Next is Safety Wall, which reduces the melee damage taken in an area. Deny for stopping an enemy from using items and also silencing them. This one's really annoying. Callisto Heal for AoE healing. And also Lex Divina to silence an enemy. If you like support and want to use a ton of skills at the right moment, then Archbishop is a great choice. Personally, this is my favorite support class in the game due to how much depth this class has. Next is Shadow Chaser, whose role really is to annoy the other team. I see Strip Accessory being spammed a ton as well as Strip Shield. I think the pros determined that these were the most impactful ones to spam for everyone. After all, there are other things you can strip as well. It is true that losing Accessory or Shield is annoying, regardless of whether you are support or DPS. Next is Chaos Panic, which is used to cause enemies to be in fear. This can be super annoying and cause you to run off in the wrong direction. Then, to be sneaky and stay away from people, I see Vanish being used a lot, as well as hiding. However, people use Sight along with Horon Card to counter hidden units, so this is a counter often people use. Shadow Chaser is nice if you like hiding and causing chaos. Next is Sorcerer, another class whose role is to annoy your opponents. Now Sorcerers have Earth Field, which is one of the most oppressive skills in the game for PvP. It prevents people from casting AoE effects in the target area, and also removes AoE effects and traps too. It is a great way to control space and to protect your party. Next I see Spellbreaker being used a lot, since that affects the variable cast time and the fixed variable chanting time. This is very annoying for your opponents to deal with. I also saw some Soul Siphon to have a chance to reduce target's SP to 0, and also do some damage. Next, sometimes I also see Water Field, which gives teammates a big 2000 max HP boost and can also freeze. And finally, I see Arulo, which can sleep enemies as well. I really like Sorcerer, it's a very powerful PvP class. Besides Saint, this is one of my other support classes I'd recommend. Next is Genetic. Genetic is great for countering Earth Field and to protect spots with summons. First is Hellplant, which can deal great damage, and with the Acer node you can have 3 at once to control many areas. It's also great that Hellplants can see invisible units as well. Next, Mandragora Howling is used quite a lot to affect enemies' max SP and fixed cast time. Next is Crazy Weed, which is a way to counter Earth Field and other traps and magic effects. Especially in 6v6, this is very important since it can shut down Earth Field quite effectively. Since this is 6v6 and a lot smaller than GVG, I find you can spam this a lot more often and remove Earth Field much more efficiently with this. Next is Summon Helltree, which is great for rooting enemies every 3 seconds. This is another way to protect an area. Helltree cannot be removed with Earth Field, which is fantastic. Finally, the homunculus used is Venomirth, the magic DPS homunculus. This is a popular choice for PvP. Now Genetic is great for these summons and for controlling the area. I also like that it is a very good counter to Earth Field. Next is Guillotine Cross, another DPS class that can hide and also does poison damage. The role here is DPS. First is Poisonous Smoke, which does a lot of damage and 3 can be placed down to control areas. It can also slow people down. I also see Backsliding is used a lot to dodge things. I see the Guillotine Cross using the auto attack build, so naturally the Master Skill Spinning Shivs works quite well with it. This is a great buff to the auto attack build. Next, Dark Illusion is also used quite a bit to approach enemies, and I really like that Guillotine Cross has a lot of mobility. Next, Poison Cast was used for reducing HP and increasing poison damage. And next, Hiding can also be used, similar to Shadow Chaser. Now this is another class that can stay hidden and be sneaky. I do really like the Poison Smoke the most with this class. It's annoying to cover the area and you can use 3 of them, but what I'm not a big fan of is the melee range, and I would rather prefer the next class for the much better range and damage. The next class is Rune Knight, whose role is to deal damage. Rune Knight is able to do a ton of damage since it has many damage modifiers and is based on both attack and magic attack. This build is an auto attack build and uses the Master Skill Retainer's Weapon a lot. Now the great thing about this Master Skill is it provides AoE as well, so you're able to deal with multiple enemies as well. Next, Endure is also in there, which is great for anti-flinching. Heart of Steel is also great for survivability. And if you're low on life, then use Frenzy to heal right up. Now with great survivability and damage, Rune Knight does very well, and did show up near the top of the kill list in these matches on stream. Next is Royal Guard, who is used for tanking damage and can also hold orbs. In these matches, Battle Chant was used a ton. It provides great healing for the whole party, as well as negates Darkened Sleep. For damage, Sacrifice was being used, but I don't think the Sacrifice build can compete with Rune Knight. Now Feat Spirit didn't use the Rune Knight the whole time. I personally like the Genetic choice more, since Genetic can also hold orbs a bit, and it can also control areas quite effectively. Overall, I'd say all these classes are great to use, and if you want to know the top classes in my opinion, then I definitely choose the following. If you like magic DPS, then Warlock is the best. For physical DPS, Rune Knight is my choice, although I do have a warning with Rune Knight, you do have to be pretty well to see the results. Now for support, which I personally think is more free to play friendly, Archbishop and Sorcerer are my picks. I feel like for these classes they are a safe bet for both 6v6 and GVG, so if you're unsure of which class you should choose for PvP, hopefully this condensed list will give you a better idea. Then you can choose based on your playstyle and the amount you want to spend on this game. From this list I do have Genetic, so I am trying to use that if I do decide to do 6v6. So what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Here's a video that I'd recommend, and if you want more Ragnarok M Classic content, check out this playlist over here.